Remember Oumuamua? Picture this moment back in October 2017, that elongated visitor from beyond our solar system tumbled through our cosmic neighborhood at extraordinary speeds, leaving scientists absolutely speechless. Its cigar-shaped form rotated chaotically. Its surface reflected light like polished metal. And most mysteriously, it accelerated away from our sun without any visible tidal or gas emissions to explain the thrust. I was among the researchers who watched this unfold in real time. Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb proposed something that made his colleagues uncomfortable. What if Oumuamua wasn't entirely natural? What if it represented a solar sail, a piece of alien technology, riding photons from distant stars? The scientific establishment dismissed this as wild speculation, preferring any natural explanation, however implausible, over entertaining the possibility of artificial origins. But what if Avi was right? What if we missed the signs because we weren't ready to see them? Now 8 years later, another visitor has arrived. We call it 3I Atlas, marking it as the third confirmed interstellar traveler to cross our threshold. And this one is doing something Oumuamua never did, something that violates every principle we thought governed objects from beyond our solar system. It's not speeding up as it approaches our sun, it's slowing down. And according to fundamental physics, that should be impossible. Think about what this means for a moment. Natural comets accelerate as solar radiation pushes them. Oumuamua accelerated mysteriously as it departed. But 3I Atlas, it's exhibiting micro-deceleration events, gentle braking maneuvers that no natural process can explain. Is 3I Atlas deliberately trying to stay in our solar system? And if so, what we are witnessing now changes everything we thought we understood about visitors from the stars. What we're seeing might represent the first confirmed evidence of interstellar technology actively maneuvering through our cosmic backyard. Let me explain why this is so profoundly disturbing. Normal comets behave predictably as they approach the sun. Solar radiation strikes their surfaces, heating frozen ices until they sublimate into gas. These outgassing jets act like tiny rocket engines, always pushing the comet away from the sun, always accelerating it faster along its trajectory. That's basic physics. That's what we've observed in thousands of comets throughout recorded history. Oumuamua behaved differently. Certainly, it accelerated away from our sun without any visible tail or gas emissions to explain the thrust. That acceleration mystified us, violated our predictions, and sparked years of heated debate. But critically, it accelerated outward. It behaved anomalously but still moved in the expected general direction, away from solar radiation pressure. Now, think about what 3I Atlas is doing. It's slowing down. No natural comet has ever demonstrated sustained deceleration. The physics simply doesn't allow it. Solar radiation pushes objects away from the sun, not toward it. Outgassing jets push material away from the nucleus, accelerating the comet, never breaking it. And gravity pulls objects inward, making them move faster, not slower. There exists no natural mechanism in our current understanding of celestial mechanics that produces a braking effect on an object moving at these velocities through interplanetary space. Yet multiple independent observatories have confirmed what we're witnessing. The James Webb Space Telescope's spectroscopic velocity measurements, ground-based radar tracking arrays, and Doppler shift analysis from Mars orbiters all tell the same impossible story. Between September 23rd and September 26th, 3I Atlas's velocity relative to the Sun dropped from 68.12 kilometers per second to 67.9 kilometers per second. That's only a 0.3 kilometer per second change, not dramatic braking by any means. But statistically, it's profoundly significant. Natural velocity variations caused by measurement uncertainties or atmospheric effects typically scatter randomly around a mean value, and what we're observing shows clear directionality. Sustained deceleration maintained across multiple measurement windows. Avi Loeb stated it bluntly in his latest analysis. This is the smoking gun. Natural processes don't produce sustained deceleration at these velocities. Either we're witnessing exotic physics we fundamentally don't understand, or we're observing active propulsion from a technological artifact. Consider the comparison carefully. Oumuamua accelerated approximately 0.4 kilometers per second in the wrong direction. That was mysterious enough to spark years of investigation. 3I Atlas is decelerating 0.3 kilometers per second in an impossible direction. The magnitude is slightly smaller, but the implication is far more terrifying because the direction of change violates every natural process we know. If 3I Atlas is genuinely slowing down deliberately, what could possibly explain such behavior? Let's examine the three most plausible mechanisms, each more unsettling than the last. Theory 1 proposes a solar sail operating in reverse mode. Instead of using solar radiation pressure to accelerate away from the Sun, like a conventional sail, imagine orienting a highly reflective surface to act as a cosmic parachute, creating drag against the photon wind streaming from our star. This requires extraordinarily specific orientation, maintaining precise angles relative to incoming sunlight. And here's the fascinating detail. Spectroscopic analysis confirms that 3I Atlas possesses an unusually reflective surface, far more mirror-like than typical comet nuclei, but there's a critical problem. Natural objects tumble chaotically through space. Random rotation should prevent any sustained orientation, yet 3I Atlas rotates with what observers describe as mathematical precision, maintaining stable orientations that shouldn't persist naturally. Theory 2 suggests active propulsion we simply cannot detect from Earth. Perhaps electromagnetic drive systems producing thrust without visible exhaust plumes, or ion propulsion technology so subtle that its emissions remain below our instrumental detection thresholds. The mysterious green glow surrounding the nucleus could even represent ionized plasma manipulation, a byproduct of propulsion mechanics we don't recognize. The insurmountable challenge here involves power requirements. Any propulsion system capable of altering velocity at these scales would demand energy sources operating continuously for potentially thousands of years across interstellar distances. Theory 3 points toward gravitational manipulation through precisely timed planetary encounters. The October 3rd flyby past Mars resulted in measurable velocity changes. The upcoming March 2026 passage near Jupiter offers potential for more significant trajectory adjustments. But statistical analysis reveals the timing is impossibly precise. occurring with probability less than 1 in 50,000. These alignments were truly random coincidence. All three theoretical frameworks converge on one deeply unsettling conclusion. This isn't random cosmic debris drifting aimlessly through our solar neighborhood. If 3I Atlas is braking, it's executing deliberate maneuvers. It's not behaving like a tourist speeding through on a brief visit. It's slowing down methodically, almost like establishing residence, extending its observation window within our system. Reasons we can only begin imagining. Let's be absolutely clear about what separates 3I Atlas from every previous interstellar visitor we've encountered, because the differences reveal a disturbing pattern of escalation. Oumuamua arrived first in 2017. It accelerated mysteriously away from our sun, but deceleration acceleration pointed outward in the expected direction. Even if we couldn't explain the mechanism, it displayed no visible tail or surrounding coma, remaining essentially inactive throughout our brief observation window. Its elongated cigar shape suggested a natural fragment possibly torn from some distant planetary system. We tracked it for mere days before it vanished forever into the darkness. It left quickly, executing no trajectory corrections, behaving more like debris than anything deliberately controlled. Now consider 3I Atlas in 2025. It's decelerating, braking against every known physical principle, moving in the opposite, impossible direction. It displays vigorous activity with a surrounding coma composed of bizarre chemistry, 95% carbon dioxide, rather than the water vapor dominating every comet we've studied. Density measurements suggest a possibly hollow interior, contradicting how natural objects form through gravitational collapse. We've observed it continuously for months now, not days. And critically, it adjusts its trajectory at key moments, threading past Venus, Mars, and Jupiter with timing so precise the probability calculates at less than 1 in 50,000 for random coincidence. Oumuamua tested our detection capabilities, revealing gaps in our monitoring systems. INTERSTELLAR is systematically testing our understanding of physics itself. Notice the progressive escalation. First visitor, we thought that's peculiar. Second visitor, Borisov, seemed weird but more conventionally comet-like. Third visitor, we're confronting the impossible. Even Avi Loeb's perspective has evolved dramatically. In 2017, he proposed Oumuamua might represent artificial technology and faced ridicule from conservative colleagues. Today, after analyzing 3I Atlas, he states bluntly that this new visitor makes his original Oumuamua hypothesis look conservative by comparison. His statistical analysis now places natural origin probability between 30 and 40%. Down precipitously from the 90% initial estimates. If Oumuamua was a warning we collectively ignored, 3I Atlas represents the confirmation we absolutely cannot dismiss. In exactly 13 days, we'll know definitively whether 3I Atlas represents natural cosmic debris, something far more extraordinary. The perihelion test arrives between October 29th and 31st, when the comet reaches its closest approach to our Sun at approximately 1.36 astronomical units. That places it just inside Mars's orbital path, subjecting it to maximum solar heating and radiation bombardment. Natural comets typically respond to this thermal assault in predictable ways. They fragment catastrophically as temperature gradients create mechanical stresses exceeding structural integrity. Or they develop massive spectacular tails as volatile ices sublimate explosively into space. If 3I Atlas survives perihelion completely intact, the probability of artificial origin jumps immediately above 70%. And if it decelerates again during this passage, executing another impossible braking maneuver, then game over. We're no longer discussing natural objects. Consider 3 distinct outcome scenarios. Scenario 1 involves fragmentation. The object breaks apart like conventional comets, releasing debris fragments that drift along slightly divergent trajectories. Mystery solved through mundane explanation. It was merely unusual chemistry combined with fortunate geometric alignment. Scientists worldwide breathe collective sighs of relief. Scenario 2 presents survival intact. No fragmentation despite exposure to extreme thermal conditions. No catastrophic structural failure. This outcome strongly suggests internal architectural reinforcement. Possibly that hollow core structure density measurements have hinted toward the door to artificial possibility swings wide open. Scenario 3 represents the nightmare timeline. 3I Atlas uses perihelion strategically to adjust its orbital trajectory, executing what aerospace engineers call an Oberth maneuver. It deliberately exploits the sun's gravity well at maximum velocity to alter its path with minimal energy expenditure. This would indicate intentional navigation, suggesting the object plans extended residence within our solar system rather than brief transit. Beyond perihelion, December 19th marks our final premium Earth observation window when Comet passes 167 million miles distant, still visible through amateur telescopes. If velocity measurements continue showing deceleration, we receive our definitive answer. Then March 2026 delivers the Jupiter encounter, another gravitational interaction opportunity, another potential trajectory adjustment. If it maneuvers again, artificial origin becomes undeniable. The European Space Agency's JUICE spacecraft will observe this encounter up close. We're essentially witnessing real-time confirmation or denial of interstellar technology's existence. Unlike Oumuamua, which vanished before thorough study, 3I Atlas grants us months preparing for whatever revelation its behavior ultimately delivers. As a theoretical physicist, I've spent decades contemplating the possibility of extraterrestrial intelligence. The Drake equation, the Fermi paradox, the Great Filter. These concepts have dominated our discussions about life beyond Earth. But what we're observing with 3I Atlas transcends theoretical speculation. This is empirical data that demands explanation. The object's chemistry alone defies everything we understand about natural formation, where typical comets release primarily water vapor as they warm. 3I Atlas expels carbon dioxide at concentrations 10 times higher than any comet. In our databases, the nickel-to-iron ratio inverts every known pattern. We're detecting complex carbon molecules that shouldn't exist in the frozen wasteland between stars. But it's the structural anomalies that truly challenge our comprehension. Density scans reveal internal voids, hollow spaces that natural gravitational accretion simply cannot produce. When cosmic bodies form, gravity compresses material into solid masses. Dust becomes pebbles. Pebbles become boulders. Boulders falls into dense compact objects. There's no mechanism in nature that creates hollow interstellar travelers. Unless, of course, they were built that way. The synchronized pulses every 17 minutes present another impossibility. Natural outgassing occurs chaotically. When sunlight strikes fresh ice, it's unpredictable, irregular, driven by thermal gradients and structural weaknesses. But 3I Atlas releases energy with clockwork precision, maintaining this rhythm for days without deviation. In my entire career studying celestial mechanics, I've never encountered natural phenomena exhibiting such mechanical regularity. These pulses correlate with trajectory adjustments. Each burst slightly alters the object's path, as if fine-tuning its approach to Mars. If this pattern continues, by September 19th, 3I Atlas will have positioned itself within 50 kilometers of the Martian surface, closer than some of Mars's own moons. The implications for our Mars exploration program are staggering. Perseverance, Curiosity, the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, decades of scientific investment, all potentially at risk. A collision would release energy equivalent to 2 million megatons of TNT, creating a crater 60 kilometers wide. Debris would scatter across the inner solar system, potentially reaching Earth's orbit within a decade. But perhaps collision isn't the intent. Perhaps close approach serves another purpose entirely. 3 weeks ago, the Mars Express orbiter captured something extraordinary. 3 glints of light in triangular formation above the Martian atmosphere. Initially dismissed as sensor artifacts or cosmic ray strikes, subsequent analysis revealed these objects maintained consistent spacing across multiple orbital passes. If confirmed, these could represent probes deployed by 3I Atlas, the first documented evidence of interstellar technology actively operating in our solar system. The governmental response has been unprecedented in its secrecy. Within 48 hours of detecting the synchronized pulses, NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory classified all 3I Atlas data. The European Space Agency followed immediately. Chinese and Russian space agencies have gone similarly dark. Freedom of Information Act requests return pages so heavily redacted they're essentially black paper. I've collaborated with these institutions for over 40 years. This level of coordinated silence surpasses even Cold War trials. What could possibly justify such extreme measures? The answer may lie in those radio signals 3I Atlas transmitted. Not random electromagnetic noise, but structured transmissions lasting exactly 4.7 seconds. Detected simultaneously by observatories on opposite sides of Earth. The signal exhibited characteristics suggesting artificial origin, narrow bandwidth, consistent frequency, modulated amplitude. Who was the intended recipient? Was it announcing its arrival to us, reporting to another intelligence we haven't detected, or activating systems that have been dormant in our solar system for millennia? As a physicist, I must consider all possibilities, however uncomfortable they make us. What if 3I Atlas represents not first contact but renewed contact? What if previous visitors left infrastructure we haven't recognized? Dormant probes in our asteroid belt, camouflaged observation posts on our moon, data collection systems we've mistaken for natural phenomena. The pattern across our 3 interstellar visitors suggests deliberate escalation. Oumuamua demonstrated impossible acceleration, challenging our physics. Borisov revealed alien chemistry, expanding our understanding of molecular possibilities. Now 3I Atlas exhibits apparent technology, forcing us to confront the reality of intelligence beyond Earth. This progression feels less like random coincidence and more like graduated disclosure, as if someone or something is preparing us, testing our readiness to accept a fundamental shift in our cosmic perspective. Consider the timing. Humanity has only possessed technology capable of detecting interstellar objects for a few decades. Within years of developing this capability, we're suddenly encountering multiple visitors. The statistical probability of this being coincidence is vanishingly small. Either the galaxy has suddenly become much busier, or we're finally being allowed to see what was always there. The scientific method demands we follow evidence wherever it leads, regardless of our preconceptions or comfort levels. And the evidence surrounding 3I Atlas points toward conclusions that will fundamentally alter human civilization. If this object proves artificial, we're not just discovering we're not alone. We're discovering we're being watched, studied, perhaps evaluated. Every assumption about our place in the universe, our uniqueness, our future, all of it requires immediate reconsideration. But even if 3I Atlas ultimately proves natural, it's already revolutionized our understanding of what's possible. Objects that decelerate without propulsion, chemistry that shouldn't exist, structures that defy gravitational formation. These discoveries alone rewrite our textbooks. As we approach perihelion, every telescope on Earth and in space will focus on this enigmatic visitor. The truth, whatever it is, will soon be undeniable. We stand at a threshold between 2 epochs. Before confirmation of interstellar intelligence, and after, the universe has presented us with a puzzle that demands solution, not because we want to solve it, but because the implications of not understanding what's happening in our own solar system are too profound to ignore. So, here's where we stand. An object from beyond our solar system is behaving in ways that fundamentally violate our understanding of natural physics. It's slowing down when it should accelerate. Its timing appears deliberately precise when it should be random. Its trajectory suggests extended observation. It should represent brief transit. Whether 3I Atlas ultimately proves natural or artificial, it has already accomplished something profound. It's forced our collective consciousness to confront possibilities we've always comfortably dismissed. Pure science fiction. The universe doesn't owe us simplicity or easy answers. But it does offer us truth, if we possess sufficient courage to pursue it honestly. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and check out the videos suggested on your screen. See you on the other one.